17. Maybe that would be easier. Hi, people. Yeah, charging cable. Where have I been? How's it going, guys? Who's here? So, I wanted to make a quick video just to say what I've been up to and answer any questions that you guys might have. Well, you might not have any questions, I don't know. But I thought I would just take the time just to go live and how's it going? And see where we go from there. So, I've not been doing a lot of Deliveroo recently for a couple of reasons. So I'll explain the story and then I'll tell you what I've been doing and then I'll take it from there and see where it goes. So I had two e-bikes. I had my black Specialized with the box that I built, and I also had the red Voodoo Hoodoo. Hi, how's it going? And I didn't know what I was going to do with the red bike, but the rim broke on my Specialized not long after the screen was ripped off. Incidentally, I inspected the... How's it going, London Eats? We've got a celebrity with us. I don't know if anyone's seen his channel recently, but it's blown up. Anyway, I inspected the chain on the bike that was vandalized, and somebody actually tried to cut the chain as well, and I think they realized that they couldn't steal it, so they just tried to damage it as much as possible. Just thought I would clear that up because I did a little bit of investigating and that was interesting. So the rim broke after I fixed it. Yeah, you can have, I'm sure, no doubt. Just give it a month or so and you'll have that celebrity bank account. So the black bike was off the road and I was really fed up with it. It wasn't the black bike's fault. It was just unfortunate, basically. So I thought I would take the time to make the red bike a e-bike because I had 3 batteries. And I'm going to Thailand soon, so I thought, well, why don't I make another e-bike, and then when the black one's finished, I can sell the red one with a battery, and I'll still have 2 batteries. So that's what I decided the plan was. Made the red one, it was perfect, I loved it, I even fitted the fog lights, it was great. And in the end, I won't say who, they might comment and say it was me, but in the end it went to a subscriber, and the communication that I've had with him since is that he's pretty happy with it, so that's great. That's a success. Yeah, so that left me with 2 batteries, and something silly happened. I agreed to sell one to one of my friends because he needed the second, so I only had one. In the meantime, my nephew, some of you guys might remember him. He used to do Deliveroo on a fixie. The engine in his van exploded. He's a mobile mechanic, so it couldn't work. So I said, look, why don't you use my bike? I'll sell it to you cheap. You can use my Deliveroo account, and then you can get yourself sorted. So that's what he's doing. So he's using my Deliveroo account with my Specialized, which I sold to him cheap because he's my family, he's my nephew. Job done. So that left me with no batteries, no bikes. So then I hadn't learnt my lesson from last time. I stupidly bought a Carrera Crossfire electric bike, and I had a few problems with my Carrera Crossfire before it got stolen. And I've got a few problems with this one as well. And the person that I bought it from, I work with, and bless him, he basically gave me a partial refund when I explained to him how bad the bike was. He didn't need to do that, so I doubt he's watching this because, well, I just doubt it. But anyway, it was kind of him to do that. So that bike is now with Zach because he's going to replace the bearing in the motor, and hopefully I'll get that back. But it left me with no bike, and I still wanted to do. I've still got my Uber account, so I still do a bit of Uber. So I thought, oh, why not? I do kind of enjoy doing a little bit of work. Why not just build another e-bike? So that's what I set out to do, and I don't know if any of you guys saw the doors, but I absolutely love that bike. I haven't had it on the road yet for a little technical issue, which I just want to make it perfect before I start using it. But it's beautiful. I will sell that closer to the time before I go to Thailand. But it's got a Vazak battery in there, and it's just absolutely glorious. It was, yeah, it's a success story. I should really close that window. If that is it, is the road noise quite noisy? Because I can shut the window. Anyway, that is the story. But it doesn't mean that I haven't been making money. I've been trying to increase my non-taxable income because, yeah, I don't want to pay tax on the extra money that I make. That sounds a bit dodgy, but let me explain. Basically, I don't know if any of you have heard of bet matching, but I've been doing that with a degree of success. I've been doing other things as well. And so for the last 7 days, I was doing something else before that, but for the last 7 days, I've made £362, which is quite impressive. And bet matching is gambling, and gambling is you don't get taxed on it. So that's awesome. What else have I been doing? I've been buying a few beat up bikes and fixing them up and selling them on. That's been quite fun. I quite enjoy working with bikes as well. So I think if you make over £1,000 a year, you have to declare it on your self-assessment. So I don't think I've made £1,000 profit. So again, it's not really taxable. I suppose I could include it on my Deliveroo earnings. I haven't decided yet. But that is the story so far. My plan is to leave to go to Thailand mid-May. I had to put it back again. So the plan is to do a combination of a little bit of Uber, because I can't use my Deliveroo account for obvious reasons, do a little bit of bet matching, and a few other things, just to make a few extra quid, and then go to Thailand. So the other thing is, I was thinking about specifically Deliveroo, because there's always lots of different ways of making money, and I think that if anything, I can't say this word, pandemic has taught us that anything can happen, and one of the reasons why it hasn't been very good in Reading is because I think all of the taxi drivers and all of the people on furlough have been doing Deliveroo, basically, Deliveroo and Uber. I don't necessarily think that, I mean, some places, for instance, London Eat will probably attest, if he's still here, that in London, he says that it's a lot busier. So, it's not the same for everyone. But in Reading, definitely Deliveroo has been considerably quieter, and I don't think it's because the orders... cool. Is it still busy in Reading? I don't think it's because the orders aren't there, although maybe it's quieter, maybe there's less orders, but I don't think so. I think it's just that there's a lot more people working. I've spoken to several taxi drivers, and they're saying, yeah, I can work all day doing taxi driving and only make like 30 quid. Okay. Yeah, again, when it's sunny, people tend to go outside and not order food. That's like, yeah. I think at the start of it, the police were really hot on people in the town centre, people in parks. But I think the rules have changed so much that the police don't care as much. So unless it's like a blatant, something ridiculously stupid, like a rave or something, I don't think that the police particularly care. Definitely, I've noticed that the second, or what do you call this? I don't know what lockdown this is. I can't really remember, but it was the second real lockdown, wasn't it? Like the others were like tier systems, but this second real lockdown was considerably busier from day one all the way through in Reading. I can't speak of everywhere, but definitely in Reading it was, not a great deal of difference. The first lockdown, because it was something new, everyone was like, oh my God, we can't go out. the rules. Let's stand outside and clap for the NHS. Blah blah blah. Which is interesting. Yeah, so Deliveroo hasn't been awesome. I was making enough money, and the way that I was making enough money was by doing Uber and Deliveroo at the same time, multi-apping. And I'm sure Uber won't really appreciate this, and some people say it can get you fired. Although I've known people that have done it for years with an iPhone, which I have for Uber. You can do the trick and you can see where it's going. So a combination of doing the trick and Deliveroo at the same time. What do? You have to register as being self-employed. It's really easy. I think it will take about a minute if you just Google register as self-employed. It will probably take you about a minute, and then Deliveroo is crap. Well, it's crap in Reading. It's not crap everywhere. Oh no, London Eats says that obviously Uber is better in London than Deliveroo. How's London Eats? How's Deliveroo in London? That's an interesting question. But the self-assessment's really straightforward. Once you've registered, you get your login details. Yeah, but if you have your YouTube money. Yeah, I mean, personally, it does a part of the form. It asks you like where are you getting your money from, but I just combine everything. I don't know if that's right or wrong. To be honest, I don't really care. I don't think that HMRC will treat different income sources as being different, as in the amount of tax you pay. And I kind of consider Deliveroo and Uber as pretty much the same anyway. And I kind of, because I think last year I didn't really make that much money on YouTube, so I just lumped in the YouTube with everything else. And also, if you think about it, you're not employed by Deliveroo, you're not employed by Uber. Essentially, your business is everything in the nature of Deliveroo or Uber. And because your YouTube channel is actually London Eats, you could say that that's kind of the same revenue source. Like it's not different. So to be honest with you, I mean, I wouldn't really, but I mean, you could. It depends on how much the celebrity's making. Once you're getting over 100K, you might want an accountant. What was I talking about? Yeah, Deliveroo's not been awesome. I think it's mainly because of furlough people. There's been a lot of new riders and taxi drivers taking up a lot of the orders, and that's all going to change soon. Like at the end of the lockdown, people will go back to their jobs if they still have them. The taxi drivers will have customers again. So yeah, I mean things will go back to normalish, I suppose. London is expensive. Wouldn't know. Wouldn't know. Um, yeah. So the annoying thing about Deliveroo is the distinction between cyclists, e-bikes, motorbikes, and cars, and the priorities of who gets the orders. So unless you're an e-bike, a scooter, or a car, when it's quiet, you literally don't get orders. You could go like hours without getting orders as a cyclist, especially in Reading, and it's really unfair. And the only reason I can think of that is because Deliveroo pays cyclists slightly more. But I really think that prioritizing is unfair. A lot of people I've seen have changed their cycling account to e-bikes, even though they're not on an e-bike, just so they get more orders. Yeah, no worries, take it easy. Yeah, there's definitely going to be vlogs in Thailand. But like I said, what I want to do is to keep this one about making money, and then I'll keep Craigie vlogs for vlogs, if you see what I mean. But this live was just kind of to say what I've been up to, but it was also to ask if there's any interest, are people wanting to see different ways of making money. You should put all cyclists first due to. Yeah, but e-bikes do as well, and so do motorbikes. Although you can really wear more clothes on a motorbike. But then you're never going to be able to put cyclists first, because then the cars will say, well, we have to pay for tax and MOT and insurance. Okay, bet matching, I'll try and give like a nutshell explanation of it. It's not going to be particularly clear, but I'll try and make it as simple and as quick as possible. It's completely legal. Normally you do have to subscribe to, well, you don't have to, I think there are free sites available to do it that will give you the information that you need. But basically, you have bookies. Everybody knows what a bookie is. It's where you place bets on, you gamble and stuff like that. And then you have an exchange. And a very simple explanation of what an exchange is it allows you to play the part of the bookie. You get quite often bookmakers saying, if you bet £10, you get free £20 bet. Or it could be, if you bet £100, you get £100 free bet. So basically, bet matching is making profit from that. So let's say, for instance, you have to pay £10 free bet to get, £10 qualifying bet to get £20 free bet. So you would go to the bookmaker, you would sign up, you would place your £10 bet, and at the same time you would go to an exchange, someone like Smarket or Betfair, and you would place a bet to say the outcome of your bet, the opposite will happen. So if you say, oh, Chelsea's going to win this game of football, on the exchange you're going to say anything but Chelsea is going to win this this game. Then whatever happens, you don't lose. You lose a few pence due to things like commission and what have you. But then what you have after that is free bets. So you do the same basically with the free bets. You place on an event, and with the exchange you do the same. And then what happens, whatever happens, you win, and you basically get the money back from the free bets. It's not exactly gambling, because you can't lose unless you make a stupid mistake. I did it a couple of years ago. I've got a spreadsheet here. If my laptop wakes up, I did it a couple of years ago, and I think I made, no, my laptop's not working, about £700 bet matching when I was learning. And I stopped doing it because mostly bookmakers only do introductory offers. The offers after that aren't so good. But then one of my people that I work with in Ridden, he's a gambling connoisseur. He's helped me to make well over £1,000 in a short period of time. But that was a gambling loophole, which is completely different. I don't really want to confuse people with that. And anyway, the loophole's closed, unfortunately, so I won't be making any more money on that exact one, although it was so awesome. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, he basically inspired me to get back into this. And is it working now? Yeah, so when I did this a few years ago, I made £764 in a relatively short period of time. Well, maybe, when I say relatively short, we're talking maybe... So, I mean, bearing in mind that I was learning and I was taking it pretty casually because I didn't have a lot of money to use to invest into it. It was about 6 months that I made £764, but it can be done a lot quicker than that. Like I said, with the when I've done it recently, I made £360 in 7 days. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And another thing that I found, which is really, I'm not sure if you could say that it's definitely not against the law. It might be against policy, although I don't think so. Is what I've been doing is my friends and family, because they're introductory offers, so basically you can only do it one per person. So what I've been doing is I've been well, that's what this video is about. Like, I'm trying to gauge if anyone's interested, because if they are, then I'll make a more complete video and try and explain it completely. Because there's a website that allows you to do use their tools, which you need to identify the free bets, and it allows you to do it for free for a little bit. So if there is interest, then I'm more than happy to make like a complete video explaining it and how much money I made, etc., etc. This is just really kind of a gauge to see if anyone is interested, and also to tell you guys what's going on or what I've been up to. But yeah, I mean, I might leave this video up, and then if I get any comments saying, yeah, that sounds interesting, then I'll make a video about it. But again, I would kind of like to make this channel more about other income sources, as well as doing things like Deliveroo and Uber, because there's a lot of money out there. Something that I've realized is there really is a lot of money out there to be made if you try and you look into it and you, well, yeah, you try basically. Like I've got a friend who is a forex trader, and I wouldn't recommend anyone does that unless they know what they're doing, because you lose a lot of money. You know, I know people that do Bitcoin. Again, I wouldn't really recommend that, but things like affiliate marketing is pretty good. Bet matching, definitely. Gambling loopholes, as long as there aren't high risks. I mean, there's a risk with anything in life, but as long as it isn't risky, then for sure. How many hours would you need to put into Deliveroo in order to make the same money? Well, that's a difficult question. I trade Forex 9 years now, 2 years full time. Excellent. It would be interesting to know if it's a strategy that you've made yourself, or if it's one that you follow. It is something I'm going to have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine when I arrive in Thailand, so I want something to learn. I subscribed to his class. I think it was decisive trading, and that's quite interesting, but then I started working too much and I couldn't be bothered to work and study. But it would be interesting to hear more. You asked how much time it would take to make the same amount of money with Deliveroo. 360. It's a really difficult question to answer because there's too many variables. But if you're working like lunch and evenings, I would say 360 is probably part-time Deliveroo and Uber if you do it right. Part-time, so whatever you would consider to part-time. It's definitely not like 9-10 hours 7 days a week for sure, because even during the lockdown you can probably, if you're doing 7 days a week, you can probably still make a fair amount of money doing it. But I mean, the nice thing about bet matching is that you do it from home and it takes very little time. You do have to concentrate whilst you're doing it, but you know, don't follow no one. 99% Forex education. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Totally. Yeah, I think a lot of the classes are just out there to make money from people, and I don't think that you get anything from it. I think that the main point which you can take away from those Forex classes are, if it really worked, why would they be selling them? Why wouldn't they just do it and make money from it themselves? What happened to the guy who robbed your Mace bike? Nothing. He got some kind of. You should look into Betfair trading. Okay, I will. I don't know what that is. Is that like bet matching or something? I don't know. I think you're on about Kieran Evans, the guy with the reasonably large nose. Basically, nothing happened to him. He went to court, and I think he had to pay a certain amount of money back to him, but it would have been something like 50p a week or something stupid like that. And I think he got some community service, or he wasn't allowed in town for a period of time. But since then, he's stolen multiple bikes after that, so he's still doing, nothing's changed. He's still exactly the same person, and pretty much getting away with it. But when I did a live when it was snowing, he actually approached me and said, I want you to take those videos down. And I'm like, well, why should I take those videos down? And he was like, and he couldn't give me a reason to. And then he started going on about his family. So I was just like, all right, well, I'll give you my email address and you can get your family to email me then, which, you know, whatever. But yeah, he got away with it, you know. But one thing that I've learned from that whole thing is I treated him as an adult. And I think really, he's, even though he is an adult, I think he's like 20 or something, or 21 now maybe, he's basically a child, you know. It's so difficult to Yeah, I mean, he's just a child. I don't think he really understands right and wrong. What do we got? Hey, Ray, do you think bike manufacturers should make e-bikes, especially for couriers, so you don't have to mod your bike and potentially make it dangerous? Well, they do. For instance, Wow Bike, they do an extra battery. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, and maybe the market's going to go that way anyway, just because more people are getting into electric vehicles, and maybe the manufacturers are just kind of realizing that what they can do at the moment isn't good enough. But the thing is, if you buy it from a shop with like a battery which is 6 times bigger, because let's face it, the ones you get with shop bought e-bikes, they're like 16 amp hours, which is nothing. It's nothing. I think you would need at least 3 batteries, at least three of those 16 amp hour batteries to keep going, to be able to like change it, blah blah blah. And not everybody lives close to where they work, so they can't do that. So if you're going to buy a really big battery, it's going to be so expensive. You think about it now, what's the cheapest e-bike you can buy? Like £999 from Halfords. You know, I know you can buy some really crappy ones, but I wouldn't even bother looking into those, to be honest, unless it's got a really good after sale service to protect you when it goes wrong, because it will go wrong. Saying that, Halfords is a bit of a joke as well, because they don't fix their own e-bikes, so they just send them away. So even Halfords after sale service is questionable. Yeah, if you're going to buy something with a massive battery, then you're going to London Eats might be able to tell us, but he's gone now. But I mean, Wow Bike is expensive anyway. With an extra battery, I mean, maybe worth checking. I don't know. I've done my first Deliveroo shift in ages the other night. Fees seem low. Yes, they do. They definitely have reduced this year, and it coincided approximately with the start of the second lockdown that the fees dropped. Yeah, and another interesting thing, I don't know if they're going to do this in every zone, but they've turned Reading into, I think, 4 different zones. And there must be a reason for that. There must be a reason which we'll see soon. I think potentially there's 2 reasons for it. I think one would be so they can say they're going to pay like a 1.4 surge on like a Friday and Saturday, but really the 1.4 is only the areas around Reading that don't get that many orders. Because let's face it, Deliveroo never do anything that doesn't make them more money. I've never known them to go, oh, here, have some extra money. And let me tell you one thing, which I'm not surprised about because I joked about it and it has become true. Do you remember the winter care package that they were going to send out, that we were going to receive? I can't remember what the date we were going to receive it, and I joked, should get it by summer. Well, I haven't had it. So, yeah, I don't think that's coming now. Just like their COVID care package that came about 2 months late. So the winter care package is even later than that. No risk trading with free bets, but it won't last because the offers run out. Yeah, Barry. I did mention that, Barry. But one of the things, there's 2 things. There's things called reload offers, and also doing it for your friends and family if you trust them, which I've been doing with great success. But yeah, I'll look into that after this video because I'm always interested in making more money. Yeah. 340 uphill delivery. Yeah, they don't care. The Crown Prosecution Service view stealing 1 bike and 30 bikes as being the same. That just made me sick, and I just realised from there, like, what is the point? What is the point? Oh, is that like spread betting? Is that what that's called? Because I have learnt a bit about that, and it looks a little bit risky, but I will look into it after this video for sure. Have you ever been to Vietnam? My friend's in Vietnam at the moment. I've never been. I would like to go, but I don't know when, after all of this COVID stuff is over, perhaps. He says, my friend, he's like my closest friend. He's the one that I normally live in the same building, not the same house, like the same apartment building as him when I live in Thailand. And he likes Vietnam, but he says it's nothing compared to Thailand. So maybe I'll visit, but I've got no plans to live there. I can't remember what the answer was, but thank you very much. Have you ever tried Amazon Flex? Is that the one where they deliver? I don't have a 5-door car, so I can't. But I know that Amazon treats their staff pretty bad. And also, driving in Reading makes me angry. Or driving in the UK makes me angry. Because I really, really, really can't stress how much I hate traffic. Which is why my preference would be to deliver on bikes. Because I don't like being angry. I much prefer being happy. Although it's much more dangerous on a bike. There's no doubts about that. I have tried to apply for Stuart a few times. And I kind of gave up. And then they emailed me and said, "Are you still interested?" But it was all their automated service, like email service. And I don't know if they've got enough people, but I started the application and then they don't reply, and I can't be bothered to chase them up. I just don't really see the point. But I've got Uber as well, even though I don't have my Deliveroo account at the moment. I don't know if I'll get that back before I go. Maybe, I don't know, but my nephew's family, so I can make money without Deliveroo, put it that way. It would be nice to have it back, but who knows? And how's that work in Liverpool with all the different areas? Because I'm guessing Liverpool's larger than... Yeah, I'm almost sure that Liverpool's larger than Reading. I don't really think that Reading warrants having like 4 different areas. I think they're just copying Uber, to be honest. Because they do that with Uber, don't they? They have like... In Reading, they have 4 different areas, and then they do like 1.3 on the outside areas. But if you go there, you don't get any orders. So I'm guessing that they're trying to copy that. Or does it work? Have you what your experience? I mean, yeah, one of my friends wants me to look into importing. Yeah, maybe. To be honest with you, they don't really have e-bikes in Thailand. So I'm not sure how that would work. The main manufacturer is going to be China, isn't it? But to be honest with you, if it was going to be a business around e-bikes, it would probably be importing e-bikes into Thailand, because I definitely think that there's potential for that in the future. Because in my whole days in Thailand, I've only ever seen one e-bike. Yeah, I'll look into that, Barry. Cheers. Honest opinion on Brompton. Yeah, I've said some pretty mean things about Brompton riders in the past. Mostly they're jokes. If your Brompton makes you happy, then great. I assume they deserve the reputation they have, but it's not something that I like. And I think for the potholes in Reading, I think they would probably eat a Brompton tyre. So I'm probably not going to be riding one anytime soon. However, if Brompton or a reseller of Brompton said, "Hey, Deliveroo rider, do you want to test our bike for a week?" I'd go, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So never say never, but I think it's unlikely. No, I've never been to Taiwan. I would go, provided China hasn't tried to conquer them. One good thing about Vietnam is that the teachers in Vietnam than a regular job in the UK with lower living costs. It's just insanity. I couldn't believe it when he told me how much he was getting paid. Really couldn't believe it. So instead of coming back to do delivery, maybe I'll just go to Vietnam and be an English teacher. How many hours can you do a day? It depends how many hours I work, I suppose. On New Year's Day, I think I did the... What was it? Was it God, I can't remember. You know the offer that they did on New Year's Day. Anyway, I did it. Was it 30 deliveries or 40? I can't remember. Um, I mean, I could do 5 or 6 or an hour, but it depends if I get good orders. But with a fast e-bike, you can do a lot of orders an hour. Um, yeah, interesting thing about Stuart is I think they're going to go to pay per hour. I read something in the news a month or so ago. Um, yeah, I don't think it's just I think they've got enough people in Reading because I even spoke to the zone captain and said, hook a brother up, and he was like, yeah, I'll look into it, but nothing really came of it. So unless they've seen my videos and they were like, nah, we don't want him, then I think they've just got enough people. But it's too late now. There's no point in me starting it really for the sake of 2 months or 2.5 months, I suppose. Open up, shut. Pompud Passatai Dainitnoi Club. Yeah, I can speak a little bit of Thai. I don't. Are they interesting channels? If they're interesting, then I might look into it. Yeah, yeah. Marathon Plus tires are awesome. Do they make them for Bromptons? I've never seen them so small. Oh. Which e-scooters are you talking about? Are you talking like a motorbike scooter or those like the ones that you stand on? Yeah, I think it's probably only a matter of time before they're legalized. I'm really not a fan, and everyone that I've known that's tried to use them for Deliveroo lasts for about a week and then goes, nah, that is just not working. I would hate to do it. I mean, I think that they're a toy. I think they're fun. Maybe they work for commuters a little bit to go short distances to be able to carry it on a train. But I think that that is all they're good for. I don't think that they're good for longer distances or for Deliveroo because I think they're dangerous and yeah, they're a toy in my mind. I think they're great. I would love to have one as a toy. I would never do Deliveroo on it, just never. Yeah, a couple of people have tried. Maybe, although there's that guy in Europe who does it on the one wheel, and he makes like a ridiculously large amount of money. But that's kind of different, isn't it? I don't know. I would never, wouldn't want to do it. I would do it as a joke. Again, if a scooter company came to me and said, "Do you want to do a shift on this?" I would go, "Yeah, sure," because it would be fun, but not long term. I think you would die quicker than if you had an e-bike. And if you're talking about e-scooters as in motorbikes, I think they're awesome. I would love to have one, but again, it's the battery size and charge time, and I don't have space to park it off road. If you had a garage, then it would be great. An electric scooter. I really think that, or electric motorbike even, because the electric motorbikes look awesome. What batteries do I use? I use Zach packs. I don't know if you know Zach. He's a bit of an e-bike expert. He used to work in Reading. That's how I know him. And now he's got his own business, which is just making batteries. He's got some large contracts coming, so he might stop doing smaller jobs, but at the moment he's still doing it. I don't know, maybe he will continue doing the smaller jobs in the future, but he's in negotiations to make batteries for a big company at the moment. I've bought 3 batteries off of him so far, and yeah, I've been pretty happy with what I've affectionately called a Zach back. It's over on the shelf over there at the moment. He covers them in resin. Some people don't like that because it means that you can't so easily get to the batteries to repair them. However, because if you drop it or you get hit or you come off your bike, then you could damage it. But in resin, it's pretty safe. So Zach Pack for the win. If you want Zach's details, search for Better Bikes on Facebook or just try and find my videos with him in them because he'll probably give his details. He's a good person. He does good work, reasonably priced. No, No, there's lots of people doing it already, building e-bikes and selling them. And I think that, yeah, I don't think that there's that much money in it, to be honest. You, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. And also, I tend to get attached. No, because I have sold them in the past. No, I just wouldn't want to do it. And also, I'm not qualified. I can build bikes myself, test them, fix any problems, blah blah blah. But I'm not sure that I would want to just build them for other people. I don't know. I've never really thought about it. Well, I might sell my doors when I go. I might just sell the battery and keep the bike because I'm already quite attached to it. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But no, I think it's a crowded market. There's already enough people in Reading doing that already. And then also you got shipping batteries is difficult, so you couldn't ship it to, like, it would have to be a collection thing. If somebody came to me and said, that lived in Reading and said, hey, could you, I'm not confident enough to build me an e-bike, could you do it for me? Then I would go, yeah, sure, okay, I'll do that for you. But failing that, no, I wouldn't want to get involved in that. There's enough people doing it already. I think someone like you who spent years working as a rider would be extremely beneficial to Deliveroo. In never going to happen. Deliveroo rarely acknowledged my existence. A couple of times when I've met Deliveroo people, they've gone, "Yeah, we've seen your videos. Everybody's in the office loves them." But when I've reached out to them, they've just been what's the word? They just haven't wanted to do anything with me. And I think maybe it's because I say good and bad things about Deliveroo. I don't know. But no, and also I wouldn't really want a corporate style job. I did speak to somebody, a friend of a friend, who was applying for a job in Deliveroo. Give you any more information, then I'll give you hours of my time to try and help the app, trying to help you and trying to help Deliveroo better. But I think that's the extent of it. I don't really want to work for Deliveroo. And to be honest with you, I couldn't stand the sight of Will Shue. All the interviews that I've seen of him, I find him very unpleasant. And I wouldn't want to. Well, I suppose technically I work for him now, but yeah, I wouldn't want to see him anyway. Um, did you see Italy? Oh, I do remember reading something about Uber and tax. I didn't read the article. Maybe I just read the headline. But the other interesting thing about Deliveroo is that the they went to court, didn't they? And they tried to appeal it, and it was rejected, or they lost the appeal. So that group of drivers for Uber are technically workers, so they're entitled to certain rights that a worker would have, not an employee but a worker. So that's going to have a knock-on effect. Eventually, it might be a year, it might be 2 years, but I think that unless something changes, then the gig economy as we know it is definitely going to change. And I think, yeah, I mean, for some it's going to be beneficial if they get things like holiday pay and sick pay. But I think that the very thing which attracts people to the gig economy, and that's usually desperation, if you're no longer, if you're going to be on minimum wage, then you've kind of killed what you've created. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the gig economy. I think that they take advantage of people, but it definitely does serve a purpose for desperate people. So whilst it will help some people being workers, other people aren't going to like it. Like, I don't think that you're going to be able to earn like £20 per hour. On the rare opportunity that you actually do earn £20 an hour, I don't think that's going to happen. That won't happen anymore. Have you ever been to Russia? I'm kind of scared of Russia. I would love to go to Russia, I really would, but I'm scared of the government, much like China. I would love to go to the Great Wall of China, but I just really don't like the Chinese government. So the Chinese are probably watching this now. I've said it too many times. Um, oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that they did Marathon Plus. Let's do it for Bromptons for sure. Um, Yeah, I think I have done a little bit of research because my nephew was thinking about getting one. Again, I don't, I really don't think that it's safe for doing Deliveroo. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe somebody will convert me. I don't know, but I think e-bikes are just safer. Um, do you ever get to eat the food if the customer doesn't answer the door? Yes, although I'm vegan, so I normally give it away. It's very rare that that happens when it's vegan food. Um, Favorite motorcycle you've ever ridden? Um, Probably, I'm going to be a little bit predictable and say it's a Honda CB. I think it was 600cc. Uh, I say that. I think I liked it the most because it was the fastest motorbike I've ever ridden. However, I because it's such a high riding position, it was really affected by crosswinds, and I was riding it through the end of burning season, so they were burning the crops, and there was a big storm at the time. And at one point, I was driving over a mountain road, and the flames were coming over the road, and it was very scary. And I was getting overtaken by scooters because the crosswinds were so high that I had to drive slowly, and the scooters were just flying past me on this mountain road. But yeah, on the way back, I may have gone slightly over 100 on it, and it was fun. But yeah, I mean, I that would be my favorite because it was the biggest. Although I didn't like the riding position. I really want to buy when I go back to Thailand. I want to buy a Yamaha. I think it's an MT-03, just because it's quite a small bike, and I think that that's quite a nice. It would be quite nice for cutting through traffic. So that's what I'm going to look into when I go back. I've already got a Honda Wave 110cc for my shopping, so I can do my shopping on that. I'd like a fun bike as well when I go back. So I'll look into see what the options are, but it's probably going to be like a Yamaha MT-03 just because it's quite a short bike. I think, excuse me, I think it would be great fun to ride. I did try, it's not for me, but I think a one that was taken care of probably would, it would probably be fast enough. Um, so you still need to take a picture. Yeah, you do. I don't know why. Maybe it's to stop people from using other people's accounts, I imagine. Um, Although, funny story, I did let somebody who I work with use my account, and he would take a picture of himself, and it would still work with the auto software. So that's quite amusing. Didn't buy the electric Brompton bike as you can't take electric bikes on planes. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I've taken bikes on planes, never an electric bike, which would make sense because batteries, they're a bit funny about batteries, aren't they? Oh, go away. Is my channel staying active? Well, yeah. Okay, I'm guessing you've missed everything that I've said. So, I'm going to Thailand, I think in May. I haven't booked the flight yet, but that is the plan. I'll still be using this channel up until then for things Deliveroo and Uber related. But the plan is to make this channel more about making money, primarily online, instead of just Deliveroo. So the plan is to still keep it going, but make it like diversify income sources, not just make it about this. I mean, let's face it, I've probably got like 200 or 300 videos. If there's a subject, I probably talked about it already, and I know people love the doing Deliveroo videos, and I will do more of those, I promise. Although it will be doing Uber or something like that. But I've got to do other things with this channel as well. I can't just do that, and hopefully people are okay with that. Um, do you still try? I don't. It's going to be an unpopular opinion, unfortunately. I'm guessing you're referring to the time that I stopped work to take food, a sleeping bag, and my favourite winter coat to a homeless person who was sleeping underneath a flyover. So the next time I saw him, he had lost the sleeping bag, and I approached him and I said, "What happened to the sleeping bag, mate?" And he was like, "Oh, somebody stole it." I was like, "You're telling me the sleeping bag that a homeless man was sleeping in, that I didn't say he smelled bad, but he did." the winter coat had disappeared. And I approached him again. I said, oh, what happened to the winter coat, mate? Very expensive winter coat. And he was like, oh, somebody stole it. I was like, right, okay. And ever since then, I I think I have given food to homeless people since then, but I haven't gone out of my way for them. And since the last time I came back from Thailand, I noticed the massive amount of crackheads in Reading that day in and day out ask hundreds of people for money, and they ask the same people for money, and it's always the same people, and then they put their money all together because you can see them shouting to each other at night when they've got enough money to go and buy a bag of crack and do whatever they want with it. So I am in no doubts that the majority of homeless people in Reading are just using the money for drugs. I'm sure there are legitimate homeless people that deserve help, but I don't think there's many of them in Reading, unfortunately. Well, it's not unfortunate. Ideally, there wouldn't be any homeless people, but you know what I mean. Russia is nice. Yeah, I would love to visit Russia and China, actually. The Great Wall of China would look beautiful. Although on the top of my list of ambitions is seeing the Aurora Borealis. Back where? I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to Chiang Mai. Probably mid-May. Yeah, restaurants have given me free food before. Yeah, quite often if you develop relationships with people, then they offer you things. But again, I'm vegan, so usually I say no. But yeah, I've been offered food quite a lot of times, and it's always it makes me happy that somebody would do that. Yeah, it's very kind of the people, but normally I say no. Apart from when Honest Burger offers you a Beyond Meat burger, which is vegan and is incredible. That stuff's addictive, man. You can see. Yeah. Shout out to Honest Burger. What else we got? I'm probably going to end this now because somehow it's almost been an hour and it was only supposed to be like 10 minutes. Yeah, unfortunately, Barry. Unfortunately, I think you can normally spot someone who genuinely needs help. Like you, is going to use the money on drugs, or that person is going to use the money on food, or something like that. In my opinion, I might be wrong. I'm not an expert, and I think that's answered all of the questions. So the next video I make will probably be a doing Deliveroo video on the new Doors bike, although it will be Uber. I think maybe it will be Deliveroo depending on what my nephew's doing. And again, if I get any interest on the bet matching idea, then I'll make videos about that to try and help people do that, because it's always nice to make a few quid, even if you're doing Deliveroo or Uber or you have a full-time job, you can do it at the same time. I don't know how long I'm staying in Thailand for. The plan is to go with a 3-month visa that I can renew twice, so that would be 9 months. But then maybe I'll get another visa, maybe I'll go somewhere else. It's impossible to know. The plan is just to not come back soon and see where life takes me, which is one of the reasons why I need to increase the money that I can make online, as opposed to be location free, as opposed to just making money doing Uber and Deliveroo. Hence, wanting to diversify the channel. Looking forward to the. Oh, cool, Barry. I'll definitely do it. Considering one person has shown interest. I think I've missed one comment. Would you see? Yeah, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, I really want to do. I think the travel vlog market is probably saturated, but I'll definitely be making videos about my travels. Definitely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I bought a drone, which I've hardly used at all. But yeah, I plan to get some good drone footage and travel vlog and all that type of business that everybody always does. A day trip to Liverpool. I don't think I've ever been to Liverpool, actually. If I have time, I don't think I will have time, but if I have time, then yeah. I'm not sure it would be a popular vlog, but why not? Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for coming by to say hi. I'm sorry that I haven't made a lot of content. You know, things kind of changed and a bit unlucky, I suppose, with a few things that happened at the same time. But anyway, it's done now. Um, Getting pace, yeah. But the problem is everybody wants that. So because everybody wants it, it's very difficult to be successful doing it. But yes, you are right. To be location free and travel and yeah, yeah, that's a possibility. To be location free and make money is the ideal situation. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a video about that, aren't I? That's unfortunate, but I am gonna have to make a video about that. And on that note, I'm gonna run away. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Good night. Good evening. Um, yeah, the Traveller. I don't really want to just associate my name with Deliveroo, but yeah, I suppose so. If it works, right, guys. I will see you later. Thank you for watching.